What if I told you that more knowledge is not the answer to your problems? Knowledge is powerful, yes, but it's not the magic key to success. Today, we're going to dive into why what you do is so much more important than what you know. In today's world, we're drowning in information from books to podcasts to courses and webinars. And yet, so many people feel stuck, unproductive, and frustrated. Why? Because we believe that knowing more is the secret to doing better. But knowledge alone does not create change. It's time to break that illusion. So let's unpack how the mind works. There are two main parts of your mind: the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Now, the conscious mind is linked to our five senses. We hear, smell, taste, touch, and see things. And so often that affects how we're thinking. Now, the conscious mind is the analytical mind. It's what we see, it's what we learn, it's what we process. But the power here is that you can choose your thoughts. You can choose whether what you see or what you're thinking in your conscious mind is true or untrue. And you can choose to reject thoughts that do not serve you. So often we've got that little voice in the back of our mind that says negative things and we dwell of the past, or maybe we're really worried about the future. Choose not to think about that. Every time you get emotionally involved with something, it goes into your subconscious mind, and that's when you start feeling anxious and stressed. So now if we look at the subconscious mind, this is what drives behavior. Your subconscious mind is your feelings, it's your habits, it's your ingrained beliefs that have been repeated in your mind over and over again. Many of these paradigms and these beliefs and habits were created when you were just a child. It's the things that you learn from the people around you and from your parents and from your community. And sometimes those serve you, and sometimes some of them do not serve you. Now, most of us learn something new, but never apply it. And that's because our subconscious paradigm hasn't changed. We need to change our paradigm, change our thinking in our deep subconscious mind to shift behaviors. We tend to behave in according to what we think of ourselves, of our self image, how highly we respect ourselves, and what we think we're capable of. Once you've changed that self image, that's when your behavior starts changing. Just think of someone who goes on a diet. If you still see yourself as an overweight person, you'll probably in your conscious mind tell yourself that you're going on a diet. But then you'll go to the party and you'll see the slice of cake, and often you'll start eating it. You know you shouldn't. You know it's going to make you put on weight and not give you the results you want, yet you still do it. And that's because you still see yourself as someone who is battling to lose weight. If you start seeing yourself as an athlete, as someone who's really fit and healthy, you would not want to look at that cake because that is not part of how you see yourself. So we need to shift our internal thinking and our self image so that our results and our actions start to change. So you need to see that execution and not education is what produces results. Once we shift our subconscious thinking, that's when things start to change. So you don't need another book. You need to start acting on what you already know. Our thoughts are so important, and it's the start of everything we do. Our thoughts start in our conscious mind. Once we get emotionally involved with them, they go into our subconscious mind. That then affects our feelings and our actions and our results. Now, your subconscious mind is what affects how your body acts, what you do, the things you act on, and how you behave. It's whether you show up as a confident person who has conversations with people and believes in where you're going, or your subconscious mind tells you stories that you're not enough and you can't do the thing that you want to, and that you'll never amount to anything. We need to stop that thinking. And that's why we need to understand that our paradigms and our subconscious thinking is the root of everything. Once we change our subconscious thinking, our behavior changes, and that's when our results start to change. So, to succeed, knowing more is not enough. You need to internalize what you learn. You need to reprogram your subconscious and take intentional action that leads to real transformation. It's the action that's going to get you to the results you want. A mistake we often make is that we allow our current results to affect our thinking. And without the right understanding of how the mind works, that happens quite easily because we think we're not doing well in a certain area. You're not earning the money that you want, or your test results came in and you're not doing as well in a certain subject as you want. Once you start doubting yourself, that creates an ongoing perpetual cycle. If you allow your bad results to affect your thinking, you think negative thoughts, you're feeling bad, you don't take action, and you'll keep getting negative results. So we need to cut that tie between our results and our thinking. We need to think about what we really want. We need to start thinking as the person who has already achieved the results. Once we think about that and almost disregard our current results, we start thinking good thoughts, we start focusing on where we want to be. That's when we're in a good mood, we take good action, we have positive behaviors, and that's when it gets us closer to our results. So start thinking of where you want to go. Start thinking about what you want to do with your life and what you really want. What's going to get you really excited and inspired and motivated to do different things? We need to get out of our comfort zones. We need to start thinking as the person who has already achieved the results, and we need to start taking the right actions to get us there. You have infinite potential. You can do anything you want. So, as long as you start thinking in the right way, you can reach that goal. So, remember, taking consistent, purposeful action is more impactful than endlessly accumulating knowledge. Paradigms, your internal programming, determine your actions. And if you want new results, you must change your paradigms through repetition and commitment. Success belongs to the doers, not just the learners. So remember, to succeed, knowing more isn't enough. You have to internalize what you learn. You need to reprogram your subconscious mind and take intentional action. That's where the true transformation happens.